Hi, my name is Libby, and I am the director-producer of Eyes Full of Sky. I hope you like dogs because this is what it's all about. A lot of people came together to work on this, and so I'd like to say thank you to them, and I hope that you enjoy it.
Dogs. As one of our favorite household pets, they've become known as man's best friend for a reason. We give a lot of love towards these furry friends, but not every dog has a home to receive it. My name is Libby, and I want to learn more about dog adoption. So I've connected with Rocky Road to learn more about the process, the challenges, and the commitment.
My name is Alicia, and I'm part of the management team at Rocky Road Rescue. We are a foster-based, not-for-profit located in the general Ottawa area. We're an all-breed rescue as well, so we're not discriminative of any sort of dog breed. And my role with the rescue is to help with intakes, with transportation needs, with vetting, finances, etc. Being an Ottawa-based rescue, we do focus on the Ottawa-Gatineau or Ontario and Quebec region. At the end of the day, the foster homes are essentially the backbone of our rescue, being a totally foster-based rescue here in Ottawa.
With Christmas right around the corner, Rocky Road Rescue was holding a Dog Santa Pictures fundraiser event. We went to go see what it was all about and met some of the team along the way.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I am a foster coordinator with Rocky Road Rescue. My role is to help the fosters when they are getting a dog. It's actually a really long and complicated process. We mostly have dogs that are in our care for anywhere from 3 to forever. And so the entire time the foster has access to the entire group, myself included. As a foster coordinator, I answer all the questions that they have about the dogs, provide advice, and most importantly, honestly, a lot of emotional support. It can be really hard to take in a foster dog. A lot of the times they come completely shut down or with no house training whatsoever, and so we're guiding each other through the process.
Once the dogs are placed in a foster home, they require ongoing care. Many of them have vet appointments in which volunteers are needed for transport.
We're driving to Croton Place to the vet because we're bringing Thunder to the vet appointment. We're trying to help out the organization, and they always need volunteers for this type of stuff, so I thought we could help out.
Thunder is one of the adoptable dogs in Rocky Road Rescue's care. He is an 8-year-old husky who was previously a sled dog. Since his retirement, he's developed bone spurs and requires some extra care. Today at the vet, he's getting a quick injection.
Bye, Thunder!
Some of the biggest challenges we face are basic ones like funding. We had a lot of dental, we get a lot of, unfortunately, cancer. And so we spend almost every single cent we get from our events, our adoption fees, back into the medical care of certain dogs. I had one dog that went through an entire double mastectomy, and I think that amounted to be about $1,600 just for that surgery, because there was also complications post-op.
Rocky Road Rescue takes care of a lot of dogs with unique medical challenges. However, there was one dog whose story I found particularly moving. His journey is one to be shared and one to be remembered. That dog is Holster.
So today with us we have Holster, who is a 2-year-old mixed breed who came to Canada all the way from Lebanon in September of 2022. So he's been in care with us for just over a year, and as you can see, he has some unique eyes and has had some medical challenges, which has kind of contributed to why he's been with us for so long. Holster was rescued in Lebanon by an organization called Beirut for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. He unfortunately did not have the best start to life, which is the reality for a lot of dogs in Lebanon. He was unfortunately shot in the face twice, which has left him permanently blind, and he spent some time at the rescue, the shelter that Beta owns, where he kind of settled in, he healed from his wounds, he gained some weight, and then he came to Canada.
He's so sweet. How can you do this to such a sweet dog? Honestly, I don't get it.
His current status with us as Rocky Road Rescue is adoptable. So he's currently looking for his forever home, his adoptive family. So typically we would see dogs stay in care for a couple months, maybe 4 months, depending on their behavior or medical needs. We definitely see some challenges with finding him his forever home. I do think there's a bit of a stigma around him being blind, or blind dogs in general, but hopefully we will be able to show how resilient he is and how well he adapts to new environments, and how, despite not having his vision, he is, the same old sweet dog that you would expect with a dog who does have their vision. He is a total ham. He loves people, he loves cuddles and pets, and he would lay on the floor by your feet or in your lap for hours getting pets if you would let him. He is a sweetheart. He loves his people despite what he's been through and his past, and he'll make the best friend for whoever adopts him.
Inspired by Holster's story, I wanted to try and help him find a forever home.
We're in the glebe now. We've got our posters, and we're just gonna wander around and put them on any pole that we legally can. Hopefully someone sees them.
I'm Abby. I work on the adoption sides of everything, so I'm an adoption coordinator. I get to find the perfect home for all the dogs that come into our care. With Holster, I feel like a lot of people see that again as a barrier. That's kind of why he ends up staying around longer, and that it's sad that people see a dog with a disability and think that it's going to be a big problem and stuff like that, when it's really just about adaptability, and it doesn't take much. It's just working around it. There's never a point where we're like, okay, well, I think the best is just to put it down or anything like that. We never go to that place. It's always, eventually we will find them, no matter how long it takes. There is someone out there that has the perfect home for them.
He's settled in great with his foster family in our care, and is just really excited. We're really excited for him to find his forever home.
I go through 5 chapters of my life. I was in a bush, the first chapter of my life. The second chapter was I was in school. The third chapter I came back to the query of life. And after the 4th chapter was I worked full time. In 1978 we came out of the bush, me and her. And we did that for almost 50 years. Now I'm retired. Going back into the 5th chapter of my life, going back to the Cree way of life. 3 times in my life I have returned to the Cree way of living. And my name is Alan Segnis Jr. I'm a residential school survivor. When I went to school, my father really didn't want to let me go. And when they let me go, the fact was that they already lost their son, my brother John, who never came home from school. So it was a rather difficult choice for my father and my mother to let me go to school, because of the fact that they were afraid the same thing might happen to me, not knowing the fact how the residential school kids were treated in school. You could tell them stories about it, but they made liars out of us. It was my grandmother who persuaded my parents for me to go to school, because of the fact that if I didn't go to school, the federal government would put us on a blacklist. That means they would take away all our federal assistance in terms of family allowance, ration, food, and they would not help my family. And being such a big family, so many kids, my grandmother saw a bit of a setback in that, in our life for that. So they let us go to school, stay with my brother John. The first time I went to school was in 1957. When we arrived in school, I was 6 years old. I didn't know where to go to the washroom. They didn't tell us. We just arrived. I was sitting beside an escape door. I opened the door, lights flicker on, and I'm caught staying in. I got strapped. So what happened? I wet my bed. Next morning, oh, you wet your bed. You dirty child. Look, they strap you again. My first experience, that's when I started being afraid of non-native people. I had to look at them as my master. I had to do everything they say. They made sure of that. I experienced a lot of abuse and physical abuse, mental abuse, sometimes sexual abuse. And I've seen a lot of other kids too with the same kind of abuse to them. And I've seen things I'm not supposed to see. A full-grown man hitting a child in the back with his closed fist. When I went in that room, I kind of stepped back out because I knew I wasn't supposed to be there, and I knew I was going to get in trouble. And he ran after me, and he grabbed me, and he was threatening me. And he also told me that, Alan, you know those movies, those mystery movies you watch on TV? People disappear and they never find them? Well, that's what happened to you if you ever talk to somebody about what you saw. Understand? Yes, sir. So that's the way the residential school era was. You didn't care about your feelings. The important thing was that you had to go to school. If you didn't go to school, you were nothing. I had my bouts with alcohol, try to numb the pain of residential school era, and this almost ruined my marriage. In fact, alcohol got me very sick, and she was there, my wife, Lola was there with me for the whole 6 months by my bedside until I got out of bed again. She can't put me to sleep, keeps me awake. Like Vincent's getting. She keeps me awake all night, her.
Crazy old man. You got out in his life? What happened when he was in school? That was his problem. So I was there for him.
I wanted to help him about his feelings and his, like I said, could you listen again? Why do you want to drink? What do you like to drink? Why? I still hold him sometimes, tell me the story. Sometimes he used to make me cry, tell me the stories. It still does.
The only refuge I found was the bush life that kept me away from alcohol. And I practiced my career of life. It was a healing out there to be among natural resources and where I grew up. I've been working for the Cree First Nation of Wasanfi since 1978. What I do is I mitigate impacts from resource development like forestry, mining, Hydro-Quebec. It's a difficult work to do because it's development versus a Cree way of living.
It's a handmade stove made by a 10-gallon drum. A 10-gallon drum. The Crees made this using a 10-gallon drum.
So when about this year my father passed away, I felt lonely. But then, when I'm out there, I know he's with me.
Support that.
Because I can hear his voice and I can feel his presence. And when I'm walking all alone out in the forest, I'm out to always remember what he taught me. It was a different kind of survival being in the bush than to survive at a residential school. Quite different. I was happy where I was. This is my life right here. What you see out here, that's my life.
feel like an old guy, man.
You're an old.
I'm not old.
You're 70 years old, man.
70 is not old. 90 is old. Okay?
You can't move if you're 90.
Huh?
You can't move if you're 90.
Sure I could. Who says I can't move? If I would have a sore back, I'd still be playing hockey at 90.
Okay, good day. Bye.
I don't know a single person who doesn't love Dan.
Dan is hilarious. Best guy ever. Dan is a legend in our Barrhaven community.
I'm Dan. I go to Camp Meca. You know, I've been going for like 7 years or. It's my favorite camp to go. No, it's the beautiful ladies. I always say my friends and the staff too. You know, doing the activities, swimming, crafts, sleeping in, or like a hockey night. I scored the winning goal. Is Camp Meca is my second home.
Okay, I'm Nancy, and I worked at Camp Meca for 9 years. I work with individuals with special needs on a daily basis in an educational setting, but in a recreational setting is kind of like how we do it at Camp Meca, and that's really my passion. Being able to go there year after year and work with individuals with special needs in a camp environment where they are able to be themselves and free and have a good time, that gives me joy. I got married at camp, and I got married to Steve, and when we got married, I was not able to be there for a lot of the organization and setup of the actual day, just because I would get my hair and makeup done. But I got word as that was happening that Dan was jumping in and doing whatever he could to help. Later, I got footage of Dan setting the tables up, getting decorations around, and welcoming people to the event. It just shows who Dan is and what type of person he is. He's the person that would help anybody as much as he could in any capacity.
I'm Steve. Been working at camp for, 9 years, going on 10, because we are going back next year. I've known Dan since 2017, I think was his first year. So I was there from 2015 onwards, and then Dan came in, and he was a new camper, and he immediately won everyone over.
I've worked with Dan for over 10 years, and I absolutely love working with him. He's definitely like the light of the restaurant. He comes in, he's always so positive. He's amazing with everybody that comes in. He's definitely a favorite around here. He's very popular. We have people that actually call and ask, is Dan working tonight? If he is, we're definitely coming in. He's just a beautiful soul, and we'll absolutely love him here.
Oh yeah, H2O. I like just opening the doors. Chicken wings, pasta, salad, anything.
Well, I officially met Dan in the summer of 2022 when I started working at Camp Meca, but I do live in Barrhaven, and Dan is a little bit of a celebrity around here. He works at Boston Pizza. He greets customers at the door every Friday night. So I've known him actually for quite a while, but the very first time I met him was at Camp Meca.
My name's Allison. I've worked at Boston Pizza for 2.5 years. Dan, he's a really enthusiastic guy. He lights up every time the door opens. Every guest knows him. He's super encouraging to all of us outside Boston Pizza too. He even came to one of my hockey practices and came out and skated with us.
Always say hi to Dan. If you say hi, give him a high five. He'll give you one back, and you might want to be careful with your arm because he gives a good high five, that's for sure.
So right now there are quite a few renovations going on at camp. They are tearing down the dining hall steps and deck because it's really unsafe. A lot of repairs are actually needed around there, but we just don't have the funding because Camp Meca is a non-profit summer camp. So we rely on fundraising and donations, improve the site, let us adapt to welcoming new campers with different special needs, and just overall to make it a safer, more fun experience.
All the renovations and everything new that camp has done over the last 5 years, it's really been amping up lately, and it shows that there's support still for the place. It shows that we're growing and we're accepting more people in, and we're trying to accommodate different special needs. So it's nothing but good things for the place.
I think this was very important in the Ottawa community. I think it gives individuals with special needs a place to be free and be themselves. Is so truly amazing for individuals with special needs and the community alike.
But the second I set foot on the campsite, you're just welcomed with this overwhelming feeling of unconditional love, and it's just the greatest experience of my life.
Campers like Dan are the epitome of what makes it so nice, you know? Friendly, enjoyable to be around, you remember them forever, and everyone's just so happy. It's the best part of my year.
They should, they should try it. If you want to come, you get to meet me and my friends. We have a good time, eat good food.
Artificial intelligence makes computers smarter. It's a way for them to learn. The computer can learn things that are different than what we can learn, and in different ways.
My name is Jason Mashinsky, and I'm an instructor in the Algonquin College photography program, and I also a photographer myself. I started using Midjourney a couple months ago. A few of my friends were using it, and I was kind of interested to see what they were doing. Midjourney is like an AI script through Discord. Essentially, you join the Discord, and ultimately you just enter like a query. You ask it to do something, and it auto-generates 4 images for you. Some of the happy mistakes just generated that weird stuff on the subway with the pickle guy or the rabbit and stuff like that. And I just wanted to do something surreal and strange.
What's happened recently with companies like OpenAI that has ChatGPT, they have what's known as a pre-trained model. They've done all that work for you, so anyone can access it now for free. With AI, you'll be able to do more in the future than what you could do today.
My name is Julie McCann. I'm a journalism professor here at Algonquin College. I'm also the program co-coordinator for our journalism program, and I've been teaching here at the college for almost 20 years. So when we're talking about AI, I think we're talking about generative AI, right? Because as we know, AI, it's in our phones, it's our autocorrect, Grammarly, like all of these nice things. As a helpful tool, it can be helpful for writing headlines. It can be helpful for covering smaller events, say local baseball games, local soccer games that aren't getting the coverage that they would get. So there are systems that can gather up the details. It's then vetted by an editor, but it's allowing for smaller things to be covered.
My name is Trevor Pearson, and I teach in the photography department at Algonquin College. I teach the editing stream. Basically, we're responsible for showing students how to edit images and video, taking what they've shot and preparing it to be published. I mean, I've been using it for just things I've always hated doing as a photographer. Just a lot of some of the editing stuff that we used to have to do was really freeing up a lot of time from doing mundane tasks like retouching. And even selecting and doing local adjustments, a lot of that can be automated now. So maybe I don't need to wait for a boat to leave my scene. I can just take a shot because I know that I can remove that boat later on. And beyond just fixing mistakes, like you can use AI to generate images from scratch. So if you're trying to visualize an idea in an ideation phase, you can click a few buttons, type in a text, and have that stuff generated for you. So now you can visually communicate an idea with an art director or an assistant or whoever else you want to communicate that to with minimal effort.
AI is really going to increase the creative potential. There's about 4 billion people who have access to the internet and these AI tools, which are amazing. Things that we could not have even imagined 3 years ago, and now 4 billion people have them for free. How many hundreds of millions of creative people are out there, and what are they going to be able to create?
Basically creating a concept from scratch. So if I remember correctly, I did something like, I want to see dogs in spacesuits walking down a forest with pink and blue trees, and then within a few seconds it generates it for you. Now, it's not photorealistic, of course, but it can kind of give me an idea of what I want that to possibly look like if I were to try and find some kind of weird spacesuit that a small dog could wear, and what it would look like and how it could look.
Commercial photography in and of itself will probably dwindle to a certain degree. We think that more so the portrait, wedding, something that's really personalized that can't be auto-generated through AI technology will probably increase and be even more important nowadays.
Initially, there was fear, as with anything that's big and new. Journalists are working away as hard as they always have to verify information, but there is misinformation in a really huge way, and AI can play a role in that, unfortunately. Villains who might want to use it for negative purposes can cause some mischief.
This is a little bit of the Wild West in terms of a new technology, and there's clearly a need for regulation. I think we're really going to have to guard ourselves to understand what's real and what's not real. So from our own digital literacy and being savvy viewers of material, it's going to be really important for everybody to monitor that closely.
The human needs to be part of the team, but the generative AI, the AI as a supporting character, can offer a lot of great things. So I don't think AI right now is taking jobs. I think just the changing industry is taking jobs. It's growing jobs, though.
I think that there's going to be different jobs that are associated with it. So, as an analogy, when bank machines were introduced, people said, there will be no more tellers. There's actually more tellers today than there were pre-bank machines. And the reason is, bank machines changed the nature of the business model for banking. They were able to open more branches and employ more people. So I think something like that might happen in the arts.
So I think it's going to be a similar moment to when the industry went from film to digital. It's going to be groundbreaking and it's going to be game-changing. In my opinion, if you can embrace it and utilize it and find a way to monetize it, then you're going to be fine. Yeah, there'll be aspects of photography you don't do anymore, but there might be aspects of something that was mundane or something that you don't really want to do, and then that could open you up to doing something new.
This is such an exciting time to be alive that I'm really thrilled to be working in this field.
Hi, my name is Benjamin Mossé and I'm 18 years old. I'm studying film production and I love music, sports, and improv. For as long as I can remember, I've been deaf. This is my life without sound.
When you were born, I was like, oh, my baby's perfect, he's healthy. But as the days went on, nothing disturbed you while you were eating. So I'm like, he doesn't react the same. And when at 3 months, they told us, well, his left ear is completely dead, but his right ear is still perfect. So he can go on in life with one ear. So at 6 months, we went back for a follow-up and they told us he's completely dead. Both ears are dead. I was sad. It scared me. I didn't know what's coming up for us, what to do. They told us right at that time that we could have a cochlear implant, so that was the plan.
When I was just 1 year old, I got a cochlear implant in my right ear. My implant skipped over the damaged part of my ear to deliver sound signals straight to my brain. It works as a second ear, but the way I hear isn't the same as everyone else. But I don't know the difference. I've never been able to hear any other way.
Back then, that was one of the youngest kids to be implanted. The hospital said, you don't need to learn sign language because he's going to be a hearing baby. He's going to hear everything. But, we did a lot of research and we found out that maybe the option of you being bimodal, meaning oral and signing, would be an option for us. Even though the hospital wasn't too happy about it, some people in the deaf community weren't too happy about that either. So we kind of figured out, that we're going to go anyways and learn sign language because it's part of you. You need it. A couple of years after, we had an email saying that if ever you wanted to have a second one, that, we'd go through the same deal. But it's a very long operation and a very risky operation. We were willing to go either way, but you said, you're okay with one implant and signing, and I don't think you regret it up until now. We don't regret it either.
Growing up, my implant was very fragile. Any head injury could destroy it, and once my implant was in, that was it. But still, that doesn't stop me from playing the sport that I love. My mom wanted me to wear a helmet, but I was too much of a hard head to listen. And I'm probably still am.
A lot of people don't understand that having a cochlear implant doesn't make you not deaf anymore. You'll always be deaf. And people don't see that because you can talk and you can hear but you're still a deaf person and you need sometimes some adjustments.
I have known you for 7 years now. There were a lot of challenges throughout the years. I think the biggest one was the teachers. They needed to be accepting of the fact that I would be in class with you every day, and also for your classmates to accept that there's somebody else in class as well. People got used to it, and I think that you got used to it having someone there for you. We did a lot of one-on-one work. I took you out of class. I think it was English class. You weren't at a level of grade 8. You were at grade 5 reading and comprehension. We worked really hard. We worked hard catching up. But I think with sign language and the fact that it's a 3D and visual language, you were able to better understand and better grasp the concept of what was being taught in class. You've done, I think, basically every school activity that existed. Your deafness for you is not a disability, it's an ability. You've also grown as a person with all the progression you've made, so you should be pretty proud of yourself.
For a lot of my life, I didn't want help. Yet, that's all I've gotten from my family. They helped me through so much and worked so hard. Even then, all they had to say about me are nice things.
Your laugh was contagious. Everywhere you went, you spoke to people and you laughed at everything. You were always in a good mood. So when we brought you everywhere, it was like, I'm bringing my sunshine with me.
I know you've been through a lot, and that you still achieve everything makes me really proud.
You're the light in the house. We were laughing because it was too much for us. So funny.
You're just a funny little guy.
But because of your dad, you wanted to play guitar yourself, and you did.
In the morning, I would get up with you and Ev. Back then, you didn't have your implant. I would play the guitar in the morning, and you would come up to the guitar and just put your hand on the guitar, and then you would put your head on the casing, and I would play, and you would be smiling. You were looking for the vibration, and you can understand what was going on, but you couldn't hear it yet. That was kind of bittersweet. But then in the grand picture, you're saying, well, that's the way it is. You experienced it, not missing it. You experienced it differently. You didn't miss out because you were deaf. You just did it differently.
My dad is right. Hearing is an advantage, but it hasn't stopped me from doing anything that I love. A lot of people treat me differently. They expect me to fail. They see my deafness as an obstacle, as an excuse for me to give up. It's not. Sure, I need to adjust some things, but if there's anything I want to do, I can do it. While my life has been different, it has not been less than anyone else's, with or without sound.
Hi, my name is Maya McInnes, and I'm the producer-director of A Table for All. I hope you enjoy.
Hi, my name is Esteban Castillo. I am the Community and Family Services Coordinator here at the Salvation Army in Kempville. I provide oversight for the thrift store that we have here, as well as the food bank. It was the fall of 2019 when I started, so it's been about 4 years. I had a retail background, and I knew that they were looking at upgrading and enlarging their store. And so I said, hey, maybe this is something that I can partner up with them and help them out with, and we managed to do that.
My name is Milena Herbaca, and I'm a volunteer at the Salvation Army Food Bank in Kempville. And I'm 34 years old. It's my first time volunteering for an organization, so it's been an interesting experience, but I'm really enjoying it. The food bank is essential to the North Grenville community and Kempville, where I live, because so many families have food insecurities right now. The prices of food are just keep going up and up and up, and it's even difficult for a household that has a healthy budget to make space for all the food that they need to supply their family with. So it's not a crazy thought to me that more and more people are in need of help.
So we're getting ready for another big food bank day. It's going to be a busy one. Basically, what I do is I'll get up and go across the street to our grocery store. I will pick up all of our fresh produce or goods such as milk, butter, bread, eggs. Get that all brought in here, have it ready for the volunteers who come in, and they'll help distribute that food out to the families. Every 20 minutes, we have 2 families that come. So at 9:30, we'll have 2, and then at 9:50, another 2, and then that'll continue on throughout the entire day from 9:30 till about 4 o'clock. So we just got back from the grocery store. We're a few minutes away from opening up the doors, so I'm just trying to get all the produce where it needs to be. And as you can see, we just picked up some butter. And now we're unpacking it here, have it ready for the volunteers to be able to hand them out to families that need it. And that's what I'm working on right now.
Name is David Butler. Salvation Army's been very good to me when I ran out of funds, primarily for retirement. It's hard to go there the first time. First time's always the hardest. I know friends that have broken down and cried and other things.
You see the stress in people when they come through the doors, but they always leave with a little less stress because they've had that necessity met by the food bank. So it's nice to see people access the support that's there waiting for them. I think it's conversations that need to be had around the stigma of shame. I like to think that I make it easier for people to access the food bank when they are welcomed by a friendly face that does not hold judgment, that realizes that I could just as easily be in their shoes if circumstances were just a little different.
We went from helping on average 30 families in a week to 150. It wasn't a big operation, or the big operation that it has become now. It now skyrocketed to 150 families, and now we're averaging about 100 every 2 weeks that are coming. With the price of the groceries going up, it's made it more difficult for us to restock our shelves. Most of our groceries are provided by people who make donations, and in some cases they bring actual food in. Well, now with the prices of food going up, we're noticing that things that we used to buy on sale that were maybe two for $4, that same item is now 2 for $9 on sale. Just a year or 2 ago, it was 2 for $4. So it's costing twice as much to get the same amount of food that we were getting. I am about to head over to Food Basics, it's one of the local grocery stores. This is one of 3 grocery stores in town that have partnered up with us and have allowed us to put a bin in their location. So throughout the week, I'll try to make sure to hit them all up and check what's there for us. Every time is a little different. It's all based on the donations that come in, so you just never know what's going to be there. Some weeks are better than others. We're getting a lot of parents, especially single moms with multiple kids in the household. But we're also getting people who are actually working class people. They're working, but with the price of food going up, with the price of gas, going up and down, they just can't piece things together. The check doesn't go as far as it used to. Back in the day, you'd be earning a living wage, and it would cover all your expenses, and then you would have something extra. Now you don't. Now it's just, how can I get from this paycheck to the next paycheck? In my personal life, I'm a dad with 4 kids, and I feel it when I go to the grocery stores. I see it, and I have to be more calculated. I have to sit down and look at the flyers and look where the deals are at. And I have to, be calculated when I'm spending my money, just to make sure that I'm able to make it last between paycheck to paycheck. My hopes for the food bank going forward are that we'd be able to have ourselves stocked and ready to go to provide the folks that access our food bank what they need.
I hope to see more support steady year-round, but the desire to give can kind of die off between the big seasons. We're constantly serving people every week, and that need doesn't go away.
I tend to say, well, okay, they've been feeding me all year. Now the least I can do is encourage others.
There's a saying that an avalanche starts with one snowflake. That's all it takes to get the ball rolling and to make an avalanche of an effect on the people that we serve here at the food bank.
Hello, I am Sally Connolly, and this is my teammate,
Chris Zabo.
We are Algonquin film students, and we hope you enjoy our documentary titled
Miranda Magoo.
Who are you?
Can you go again, please? I'm Miranda Magoo. My process of comic making is kind of straightforward. I just sit down and I think of an idea and a story, and then I write it down kind of like a script. I do the storyboarding. I just have to make sure everything is compositionally sound and works as a page. Then I get out a big paper and I pencil it all. My favorite part of the process is probably penciling, because my favorite thing to do before I was doing comics, or at least before I was passionate about comics, was pretty much mostly just pencil drawings. It's just getting the sketches and turning it into like a real piece that's the most exciting part, I think. Being a cartoonist, you're in control of every single aspect. Just doing every step is the ultimate freedom. I like to just come up with fun stories, and I don't want it to be spreading any kind of ideology or anything. I want to put out fun and interesting art. My dad is an artist. He does all visual art. I have paintings of his all around the house. He's very good. Yes, very good. Growing up with an artist as a dad, I got a lot of drawing hours in at an early age, which allowed me to develop my art skills early on. I read a lot of comics. There are certain expectations that I had mostly for myself. Growing up, I would always look at my dad's sketchbook while I'm drawing, and I would be like, damn it! But that has just led me to more and more progress, because competing leads you to ambition, which leads you to more practice. My dad is very supportive. My dad is very supportive. I've always been a visual artist, and I was doing comics throughout my entire childhood, and then I became a teenager and I just completely forgot about it. I started getting into film and I was like, okay, yeah, this is my calling, this is what I'm supposed to do, and it was just a total distraction. One time the power went out for 2 weeks, so I decided to just read a whole bunch of comics. I had kind of an epiphany, and I realized that was what I was supposed to do. It was what I was doing when I was little. I was on the right track, but then I just forgot. I have a foolproof 3-step plan to world domination. Step 1. Completely dedicate myself to comics and produce as much as possible to master my craft and make sellable work. Step 1.5. While still on my development stage, I will make multiple zines and try to distribute them wherever I can. Step 2. Once I have enough work done, I'll start reaching out to publishers, and they will leap to publish me because I am an extremely talented up-and-coming female cartoonist. Step 3. Make $1 million, revive and redefine the comic scene, as well as raise the bar for female cartoonists and win many awards.
Would you ever stop doing comics?
Maybe if I was in, like, jail or something.
My name is Mike Chevendaz. Well, I mean, I'm a member of a motorcycle club called the Falcons Motorcycle Club. We're a veterans-based motorcycle club.
Dan Lucia, aka Lizard King, Falcons Motorcycle Club, President Highlands Charter, Invictus Crew. My dad rode a motorcycle when I was a little kid. I didn't ride very much, and then when I was about 27 or so, it was 2013, I decided to take up a motorcycle myself.
My road name is One Eye, and obviously for obvious reasons. Real name is Paul, and that's as far as I'm going to go with that. Oh, I've been on a motorcycle since I was a kid, motocross, and then street bikes, and just knowing some of the bikers around. So from being a kid, they were always around town. So Michael I met when I moved back to Canada in 2014. I met him through friends and acquaintances and riding motorcycles and stuff like that. So I met him, and then I ended up working with Michael, Michael being my boss for 5 years.
Well, you'll see around the clubhouse, I know you can't turn the camera, but there are donation boxes that say for veterans with PTSD, and those are emptied every month. Everything that people put into those boxes, every penny goes to a veteran's cause. None of it goes to the club. Now, we do hold events to raise funds, and when we hold those events, a portion of the proceeds goes to veterans. Of course, those events cost money, so we need to pay bands and we need to rent stuff, but there is a portion of that money that goes to veterans. All of the money that's donated for veterans here goes to veterans. I think that most people would agree that I look different. I stand out when I walk down the street because of my appearance, because of the things I wear, because of the fact that I carry a knife.
I've felt prejudice, discrimination, even from the police and from society.
I've never really received a hassle from, strangers on the street, just regular citizens. I've been hassled interminably by law enforcement and by the government for my choices in what I wear.
The police particularly, of course, because they're the enforcement, I've been pulled over, especially in Victoria and even in Ottawa, under the guise of, you know, we just want to check your exhaust system if it's too loud, or we just want to make sure you have a motorcycle license. And then all of a sudden the truth comes out, oh, I just want to talk to you about your club.
We are expressing our freedom in a way that we know, and the fact that other people know that that could happen to them, have had it happen to them, and choose to do it as well, to me is a tremendous statement of support. I'm currently a member of the Falcons Motorcycle Club, but previously I was a member of another club called the Black Pistons Motorcycle Club, which is a support club for the Outlaws Motorcycle Club. Considered by some law enforcement agencies to be a criminal organization, even though it's been ruled by the courts to not be. So I was a member of the Black Pistons Motorcycle Club, and as part of travel for work, and I was stopped at the border. In fact, I was stopped from boarding my plane, and the explanation that was given me at the airport didn't really make sense. So that same day I drove to the border crossing at Cornwall and presented myself to find out what was going on. A bunch of people came running out of the building, took me out of my car, put me in handcuffs, and put me in a cell. So that's the first experience I had where I was denied entry to the US as a result of being a biker. They were very good, by the way, very professional, and in fact I'd like to go back and thank them for their hospitality.
If I just wanted to ride a motorcycle, I'd just ride a motorcycle. If I just wanted to join something, I would join, you know, just something. If I want to be in a motorcycle club, then it's because I want, you know, not just guys I ride with, it's brotherhood. The support that I get from my own club brothers is unquestioning, no matter what. I could pick up my phone right now and say, hey man, I need a hand. I don't even have to say about what, and they will all come and help.
Hi guys, I'm Eva Hart, and my team and I are film students at Algonquin College, and we really hope you enjoy our documentary, Beyond the Spotlight. Thank you.
I'm Shayla Kellett, and I am one of the co-captains of Ravens Dance Pack. We are completely student-run. It's me, Vanessa, and 3 other executive members. We make the team, we put everybody into their dances, their pieces, we pick choreographers, we make rehearsal schedules, we register for competitions. We pretty much do it all.
I think this is going to be really, really lingered if I had my chance. Make sense? That I could make those people dance.
First thing I do, if I'm teaching, I always go over what I'm teaching the people so that I know what I'm doing. If not, I love to chat with my friends, catch up on what we did during the day or over the weekend.
I'm gonna play it a couple times to go over it because I know we added. And then I'll go over the end, and then we're gonna start cleaning from the top. How can you take one more step and looking up on that? Kind of twist your body accordingly instead of.
Dance is like my safe space. I've been doing it for so long, and it's kind of just kept me connected to myself. It's taught me so much about how I can express myself and how I can be the person that I want to present. Dance has kind of shown how I feel in a way that my outside presentation never has. If I'm feeling down, if I had a bad day, I'll go into my basement and just dance my little heart out, like improv. to any music that makes me feel some type of way. So yeah, I do it because I love it, and I do it because it makes me feel good, and it makes me feel whole.
It is important to me because from the time I was like a little kid, I always used it as like an outlet. I had a really hard time like speaking out my emotions when I was younger, and sometimes I still do. So it's a good way to like express your emotions through like a form of art. It's the same as like using a visual art, like drawing or like writing a poem. I find it like the same kind of vibe. Like you just get to let everything go and enjoy the art.
It's a great release from like the stress of school, and it's a great place to meet new people. And I think that it's a great break from how stressful life can be at times.
On any team, it's kind of just like any sports team. You need each other, you rely on each other.
Having that chemistry with your members on the team is super important, and it's very obvious if a team on stage doesn't have that chemistry with each other and doesn't have that connection. It's like the vibe of it. Like you can tell when a team is an actual team and when a team is like a bunch of solo dancers just dancing together.
I really think you can tell if a team is kind of just there to dance on their own or if they're to dance as a team, which I think makes a big difference.
Within this team, it's kind of like we're all in this together and we just need each other.
I've probably formed some of the strongest like friendships out of that team.
Being able to like build real good friendships and connections is so important. This team, honestly, coming in brand new, they've been so sweet and so welcoming. It's honestly just like, it's a team sport. More than anything, it's a team sport. And so I'm so grateful to have girls who support me.
So can you introduce yourself and tell us your story?
Yes, my name is Micheline Gawi. I am Lebanese, Canadian. I am an employee. I work admin assistant since 1985. I like this office job. I immigrated to Canada in 2004. In 2005, I became a new mom to Joy. The Civil War was long, bad, scared. Was very, very sad to see all these innocent families killed or left their houses, left their families to go everywhere to relocate their life. We grew up in the war. I was 9 years old when the war started. We missed many nice moments with the family, with the friends. But at the same time, we make nice memories at home with the recording from the radio, using batteries, using always candles, because was no electricity. The hardest thing was during the war, when we had to leave our house to be relocated to another city without any bomb, without any guns. My mom was eager to live with her family. We lost many relatives. Many memories, many bad memories comes to me from the war, from the bombs, from the fear. Until now is the same, especially when I'm here very far from my parents, from my family. When I immigrate to Canada, very wonderful people help me to adjust to the culture, what I have to do to start my life in Canada. I was very happy to come to discover another world, another life, family life together. It was nice. I'm very glad to be here.